I wish someone had told me what I'm about telling you now. Unfortunately, I didn't get that. If you are a student nurse and you have the desire to travel to the UK, to the USA, to Canada, I think the advice I'm going to give you here will go a long way to help you. If I had had somebody to tell me this, then I would have traveled long before I traveled. My name is Nwajiufor. You can simply call me Kobe. If today is your first time seeing my channel, I really appreciate you for being here for the first time, and I know you have not subscribed to this channel yet. So what I encourage you to do is to hit the subscribe button right under this video and then become part of the family, and then to get notified of all the videos I upload on this channel. What happens here is that click the notification bell, that small bell close to the subscribe button, so that anytime I do that, you'll be notified. Now, before I start, let me put this disclaimer across. If you're a student nurse watching this video, the idea of this video is not to encourage you to travel, probably to leave your home country to pursue your nursing somewhere else. But if you know deep down within you that you have no hope of getting employed after your graduation, then this video is specifically for you. It is going to help you project into the future to start thinking of nursing opportunities around you, probably in other countries like the UK, the USA, Canada, and then elsewhere. So let's dive into it. If you can look at me, this is me in the nursing training college. As at my final year, I had no hope of being employed after graduation, and then this was the reason. There were my senior colleagues who had graduated, and then to a large extent, they had completed their national service, waiting for the government to employ them. So the long and short of it all is that they were at home without employment. So I kept thinking, if the batch before me had not been posted, had not been given employment, then how much more the batch right after? As at that time, you had not graduated, and I had to think of the possible ways not to waste away my nursing skills. Apparently, I've attended nursing college for 3 years, and I wouldn't want to graduate and not use my nursing skills for anything. So I felt like if that's the case, then I have to start looking for nursing opportunities outside my comfort zone. That's my home country. So that is how the bet to travel abroad to pursue nursing came about. If your story is similar to mine, that as a student nurse, probably you are in your final year, you are in your second year of nursing college, and you have no hope of being employed afterwards, then I think it's much better you start planning your life from there. Hence, I'm going to give you some pieces of advice I wish I had known right before I set my foot into the nursing training college. So it is said that one man's meat is another man's poison. In the other way around, one man's poison is another man's meat. If your country is not giving you employment as a nurse, then what this means is that your services is not so much of a relevance. But what I want you to understand is that in as much as your country is not giving you employment, there are other countries that are looking for nurses. And I mean, as a nurse, I always say that the profession allows you to travel the world. There are so many countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, USA looking for nurses to come in there and work. And then you have the possibility of honing your skills as a nurse. So if your country is not giving you employment, I don't see the reason why you should sit at the comfort of your home and then be wasting away your skills. So for me, I think as a student nurse who has no hope of being employed right after graduation or after national service, then this is the way to start it. Think of utilizing your skills somewhere else. And what I mean by this is that think of traveling abroad to pursue your nursing career, because there are opportunities for nurses. I think you wouldn't be happy going to school probably for 3 years, pay huge amounts of money for your fees and other important stuffs, and at the end of the day you complete and you don't get a job to do. I believe that the essence of paying all those monies has to do with much more of investments, that at the end of the day you are going to get employed and then you start reaping those monies back. But if you don't get a job, what this means is that you can't really get how much money you have invested into your nursing training college education. And what this means is that it's like your life has gone waste. So start it this way. First of all, to travel abroad, probably to the UK, to the USA, to Canada, you need money. And when I say money, I can put this in a different context. Financial commitment. Apparently, you need to have an amount of money to be able to pursue this dream, especially if you have no hope of relying on anybody, your parents, your friends. I mean, then it's much better you start preparing for that right in the nursing training college. And that is why I felt like I wish someone had told me this the very first day I set my foot in the nursing training college. I would have started saving gradually towards this journey, and I would have traveled before long. It's not going to be free. You need to pay money to be doing some stuffs, especially if you want to travel to the UK as a nurse. Probably know that you have to register with the NCLEX, you have to write an exam, you have to do this. All these things must be committed to finances. So start saving right from your nursing training college. We may have some side hustles that you do, and as much as you have the desire to travel, also make sure that whatever money you get from that side, you start saving some for this journey. So I remember when I completed nursing training college that I wasn't posted, I started doing some stuff for myself, graphic designing, doing research for other people, and all this while probably I was trying to keep some money for myself with the hope that I would travel. So when it came up that I had to write my IELTS, I had to do this, I had to do that, at least I had some money to start off. And that is what I recommend for you as a student nurse. If you have the desire to travel, start preparing financially right from the very first day you entered nursing training college. Basically, you might be in your final year. I think it's never too late. You can start saving from there. You can start keeping some monies for this journey, because as I said, it's going to be financially committed. And for me, I always say that my process at a point delayed because I was stuck financially. So if I had saved an amount of money right from first year, then I think that would have been much more beneficial for me, that I'll be able to do stuff as quickly as possible. So financial commitment is very important. Start preparing towards that now. The second advice I will give you here that I wish I had known right from the very first day I set my foot in the nursing training college is much more of researching about the countries that are giving opportunities to nurses to come in there and work. So for example, like the UK, the USA, Canada, Australia. As a student nurse, basically spend some time to look into these countries. How is nursing like in Canada? How is nursing like in the UK? How is nursing like in the USA? How is nursing like in Australia? I mean, I think we don't want to work in an environment that is not very peaceful. I think we don't want to work in an environment that won't pay financially or that won't fulfill the dream for which you traveled. So it all starts with research. How much does a nurse earn in the UK? How much does a nurse earn in the USA? How much does a nurse earn in Canada? Look at all these stuff, and for you to get answers to all these things, it comes with research. Secondly, as you do your research, you come across all the requirements you need to be able to make your dream a fulfillment, and that is very important. So research about these countries. There are a lot of YouTube videos about how to become a nurse in Canada, a nurse in the US, a nurse in the UK. Start watching some of these videos. It will help you to make an informed decision. It will help you to settle on one country, and then you start looking out for the requirement for such country. So I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to leave some of these videos in my description box. Okay, so just check that one out. I just want to put them all in one place for you so that at the end of the day you can go through. So you get a video on how to become a nurse in the UK, a video on how to become a nurse in Canada, how to become a nurse in the USA, how to become a nurse in Australia, and a whole lot. So check in the description box. Now the next thing I'll talk about here has to do with experience. So as a student nurse, once you graduate or once you finish up with your national service and you still have the desire to travel, what happens here is that as part of the requirements, you get to know that most of the countries looking for nurses will say they need 1 year experience, they need 6 months experience. But for all you know, you have just graduated, you have just finished your national service. Most times the national service may count as 1 year probably, and because as at that time you may be having your PIN, you can still start the process. It all depends on how proactive you are. So I remember when I had my first interview, I had not been employed yet. It was my national service period. I had finished my national service at that time. I had my PIN. So I was going to compete with people who have had 7 years experience, people who have had 20 years experience. And in the interview, I had to prove to them that at least, even though I have just a national service experience, 1 year experience, I'm still worth it. I'm still willing to learn. I have to prove to them that way. And that is the proactiveness I'm talking about. Your ability to stand all out and prove to the employer that yes, you are fit for the job, regardless of whoever you are competing with. So that's the most important thing. But the advice I can give here is that, so let's say you have graduated and it's not yet time for your national service. What happens here is that you can probably do some kind of voluntary work in a healthcare center, in a hospital, or wherever. I mean, so far as you're a student nurse, you have graduated, I mean, they'll be happy to receive you in there to be learning 1 or 2 stars. Okay, so just get yourself some voluntary works, and once your national service is due, probably, I mean, that counts as an experience as well, maybe 1 year experience. So let's say after your national service, you've still not gotten a job, I mean, you have not been employed, and you still want to pursue your UK nursing journey, your USA journey, Canada journey. What happens here is that you can still continue with the voluntary work. It's all as a result of you building experience. So another day you can compete in the market. Now the competition is very high. There are some people who may even get interview and not get a job, all because they couldn't prove that they are worthy of the job they are applying for or they want to pursue. I think this advice can go a long way to help you as a student nurse to start building up your desire, to start kicking up your interest to become a nurse in the UK, especially if you have no hope of being employed. If this video has been very helpful to you, I really appreciate you for watching up to this point. I know that you are going to share and you are going to like. Just check in the description box for every link you need, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye.